For a number of years historians had speculated that white people had originally inhabited parts of China based on Chinese poetry and legends. Until the 1970s this contention however was only considered speculative, without any real archaeological support. However, in 1977, well-preserved Caucasoid, blonde and red-haired mummies began appearing in the Taklamakan Desert in China, along the Silk Road. Their clothing more closely resembled the finely woven tartan clothing worn by Scottish Celts from the Bronze Age. These mummies were approximately 3,500 years old and due to the dryness of the desert environment, were well preserved. These people have become known by the language which they spoke, Tocharian. The civilization which they built consisted of great cities, temples, centers of learning and art. They were also the builders and maintainers of the original Silk Road, the path for trade between the West and China itself. It was originally thought that the Chinese built the great cities along the Silk Road, but the discovery of the remains of the original people of this region now shows that the impressive ruins which still lie undisturbed, along that road, are the remains of a great lost white civilization. The fact that these mummies are Caucasoid and have European DNA has been proven conclusively. From the article Genetic Testing Reveals Awkward Truth About Xinjiang's Famous Mummies, published in both the American Free Press and the Kalu Times, in 2005, it was stated that, after years of controversy and political intrigue, archaeologists using genetic testing have proven that Caucasians roamed China's Tarim Basin 1,000 years before East Asian people arrived. Further, it was stated that the discoveries in the 1980s of the undisturbed 4,000-year-old beauty of Lilin and the younger 3,000-year-old body of the Charchen man are legendary in world archaeological circles for the fine state of their preservation and for the wealth of knowledge they bring to modern research. Continuing on, one of the main researchers involved in the genetic analysis of these mummies stated that, from the evidence available, we have found that during the first 1,000 years after the Lilin beauty, the only settlers in the Tarim Basin were Caucasoid. East Asian peoples only began showing up in the eastern portions of the Tarim Basin about 3,000 years ago, the interviewed researcher said. It was continued that, modern DNA and ancient DNA show that the peoples of Central Asia are all mixed Caucasian and East Asian. The modern and ancient DNA tell the same story. Further, in an article published in the academic journal Molecular Biology and Evolution from 2000 entitled Genetic Structure of a 2,500-Year-Old Human Population in China and Its Spatio-Temporal Changes. In the abstract of that article it was stated that the 2,500-year-old Lindsay population showed greater genetic similarity to present-day European populations than to present-day East Asian populations. The 2,000-year-old Lindsay population had features that were intermediate between the present-day European 2,500-year-old Lindsay populations and the present-day East Asian populations. And at the end of the article it was stated that the similarity between the genetic structures of the 2,500-year-old Lindsay population and the present-day European populations indicates that there was a genetic shift in the Lindsay area from a European-like population to a population more like those found in present-day East Asia, probably caused by migration. What this means is that a white Caucasian people settled this area first and before the East Asians, but through immigration of non-whites, were numerically overwhelmed and absorbed into more numerous non-white peoples, leaving behind only mixed Eurasians who currently populate the area. All that is left of these Tocharian people are ruins of their former buildings, roads and mummified bodies. They weren't even really remembered by the Eurasians who currently inhabit that area. This is the end state of massive uncontrolled immigration of different peoples. This is how a civilization literally disappears.